Nick Hart from Backstreet Boys.
Shout out to Boy Band Break.
It's Chris Kirkpatrick here. Shout out to your podcast, Boy Band Break.
Everybody, this is Howie D, and I'm listening to Boy Band Break.
Hi, Ashley Parker Angel here. Huge shout out to the Boy Band Break podcast.
This is Brad from LFO, and you are listening to Boy Band Break.
Hey, what's up? This is Jacob.
What's up? It's Dan.
What's up? It's Trevor.
And it's Eric Michael, and it's time for Boy Band Break, baby. Let's go!
Bam, 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 bam.
Welcome back to Boy Band Break. We encourage you to take a break from your day and join us in some boy band conversation. As always, I'm Cinzia. And
I am
Dianne. Welcome back, Dianne. How's things going? Getting all pumped for the school year?
Oh, yes. So excited.
So excited. For those of you who go back to school after Labor Day, happy first week of school, or it may have already passed when this airs, but whatever. Hope you're enjoying your life and having a great time.
I don't think so.
And I know a lot of the American ones go back in August. So, yeah, I don't know. So anyway, so in where we live, people go back to school after Labor Day. So there you go.
Facts.
Diane is a teacher, as we've said in the past. So there you go. So hope everyone's adjusting well to their new school year and having a great time. Speaking of great times, guys.
Speaking of a great
we
time.
are talking about something that happened last month. Yes. So
Yes.
The Joe Bros were in Toronto. So Diane and I went to the concert. It was very intense because you had to sign up for verified fan pre-sales, and you saw how well the 5 shows that they did in was that New York that they did?
Yeah.
And those sold out super quickly. So everybody was super gung-ho, and they're like, oh my God, this Jonas Brothers show, whatever. So we both signed up. Diane got the verified fan. I did not. So then Diane was able to get us tickets, and we got tickets in the 100s, and they were so it's at the Rogers Centre, which anybody from Canada, used to be called the Sky Dome. People still call it that. Very big sports thing for baseball.
Sports
The
thing?
Blue Jays play there. Arena? Is it an arena?
No, it's a field.
Yes, right? No, stadium? Field?
Stadium?
What the hell is it called in baseball? Stadium?
Do they called?
Yeah, baseball stadium. Yeah, that makes sense.
I guess.
Arena is
sure.
like hockey and shit. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, it's one of our largest facilities in Toronto. One of the largest facilities in Canada, obviously, because Toronto's a bigger thing. Holds about 40,000 people. Quite large, whatever. So we're like, okay, cool. So we're like, holy shit, this is selling out. This could be crazy. So Diane gets the tickets. She's like, I got them. We got aisle seats. It's great. Blah, blah, blah. My friends, that show did not sell out.
It's a very large event venue.
Yes.
Compared to the other ones that they were playing at.
Roof. It's So if comparable to a lot of the American dates, probably Scotiabank Arena, which used to be called
Air Canada Centre.
Air Canada Centre. ACC, yes. So that holds about 20,000 people, and a lot of people go there. So we were actually surprised that the Joe Bros were doing the Rogers Centre, but you're like, oh no, obviously they're going to sell it out, blah, blah, blah. They did not. For the very longest time, there was tons of seats available. Okay? So
and to be fair, Ed Sheeran had played there not long before, in June or something, and he sold out 2 nights. So it didn't seem super unreasonable.
And after these tickets went on sale, the Taylor Swift ones went on sale for 6 shows there, and they all sold out instantly. So, yeah. Okay, so I guess maybe we really like Joe Bros. Maybe a lot of people in Canada don't know. I don't know. I honestly feel that if they had done the Scotiabank Arena for 2 dates, they would have sold the 40,000, because you would have had people going to both shows, and you would have had it's much easier. Sound quality is better. It's whatever. The sound quality was not horrible for us, but apparently some people did have issues in the nose.
The problem with Rogers Centre as a concert venue is, as you said, they have that retractable roof, and it's metal. It's, it has to be able to retract. So The sound, like, really, I believe the technical term is
Bounces.
well, that's what I was going to say, but like it's a
Reverb.
reverb or reverb, whatever the hell they say, off the roof. And so if you're sitting up there, basically it's like a huge echo. So like, you hear, if you're lucky, I guess, you hear the original sound, but then you're also hearing it bounce back off the metal. And it's very annoying. But I guess in this case, the way that they had set up the speakers was not great.
Was not fully facing everywhere, so some parts couldn't even hear, which I think is horrible. So that sucks for those people.
Yeah, like I guess the people up in the top, like there was no speakers facing them, so all they heard was the reverb, like all they heard was the echo, and I saw some TikToks up there, and it was really bad.
So I would have moved down to like a lower level and been like, well, YOLO. So I, as you all know, if you've listened to this podcast before, I get a little crazy about being close as humanly possible to a concert. And although these were like mid-level, 100 level tickets, I was just like, we could be on the floor. And then, first of all, this was the concert where they had the VIPs that were like $1,200 for you to take a picture of the stage, not even meet the Jonas Brothers or anything like that. So like, that's crazy. So they had this giant section blocked off for that. Then when the VIPs were not selling as well, they got rid of that. And then there was still like, it was still like $500. I'm like, I'm not paying $500 for the Jonas Brothers. Like, sorry, no offense, but you know.
Yeah.
So then the ticket prices kept going lower. And then Dianne saw this TikTok of this girl who had like shittier seats. You know that for $10, and if you can move up to, like, you can exchange your seats. So I did not. So obviously Ticketmaster is shitty and scanning crap. They don't do refunds, but they'll let you upgrade your seats. Okay. We're like, oh, that's cool. What a great idea. Because now there's these seats on the floor that are closer and cheaper than our seats. Fun facts, friends. They will only let you upgrade your seat if the seat is the same price or more. If your seat is more expensive than the seat you want to go to, even if you're cool with waiving that difference, they will not let you do it. And because they charge seats. So our seats were in a weird price bracket that none other seats were. So that I'm just like watching these like seats on the floor get cheaper and cheaper because they were still more expensive than what we paid. So like, okay, I'm not going to pay an extra $50, $60 to sit like slightly closer. Right? Then it like substantially cheaper. And we're like, yeah, we're going to do it. And then Diane's on the phone with the person and they're just like, yeah, no, that's our policy.
Yeah, it was a very weird situation where I was like, listen, I understand that you don't want to issue refunds. I get all that. I'm like, but if I'm willing to take a loss, like to say, I'm willing to pay $200 for a ticket you're only charging $180 for, I don't know, like, is that okay? And she was like, it doesn't matter if you're okay with it. That's our policy. And I was like, okay. The only thing that I could figure out,
policy, like
seriously, the only thing that I could figure out, and I think this is legitimately the reason, because everybody's like, that's stupid. Why wouldn't they do that? They could make more money on the ticket. And you're right. However, they stand to make more money by leaving that ticket available for someone else to buy and keeping our ticket at the whatever price we paid, because...
Which, by the way, all the other tickets in our area ended up dropping down substantially in price. So did we get a price adjustment for the difference? No. So not only did we pay more, the seats in front of us were cheaper.
But this is the point. They were only charging, I think we paid around $200, and they were charging like $120 for the seats that we were sitting in. And so yes, they could have made $20 extra on that ticket on the floor, but instead they were making 40 extra dollars. 40? 80? Mm-hmm. I can't do math. I promise by Tuesday I'll be able to. 80 extra dollars by letting us, forcing us to stay where we are. So,
because we also thought, okay, well, maybe we'll like buy the cheaper seats and then sell ours, but if you're not going to make back anywhere near the amount because they're selling them for cheaper, so we're just like, it is.
Anyways, whatever. In the end, I will say this. I am low-key glad we didn't move. The show, it seemed to me, mostly ended up selling out.
Yeah, no, it definitely, once we were there, it was, so I don't know if they, and even the day of when I was looking for tickets, like literally as we were walking there, most of it was sold. So I don't know if they did some sort of deal or made them cheap. People just suddenly decide to buy them last minute or what, but it definitely looked very full. Especially
and also like, you know, it was mostly sold, and when I was looking at the people on the floor and like whatever, even around us to some extent, it was mostly full of like really big Jonas Brothers fans. And like, listen, I love the Jonas Brothers, but like,
we're not to that part degree. Of the Jonas from the beginning.
I didn't grow up with them. Like, you know, whatever.
Everybody else probably at least 10 years younger than us, I would assume.
And they like knew all the song, like every single lyric to every single song, and like were excited.
Like the girl behind us was having like the fucking time of her life. Like she was screaming and singing and having like, she knew every word.
And I was just like, you know what?
Really weird.
I would have felt fucking stupid being surrounded by people. Yeah, who like are like diehards. And I'm like, oh, I don't know this song. Like, you know.
It would be like us at a Backstreet concert, like looking over these people being like, well, I don't know what song this is. And we're like,
oh, and that's definitely happened. And I will tell you that when I am close up, like if I'm in the pit or whatever, which, you know, usually am.
We are, yes.
And there's people around me that are just like standing there for like the deep cuts or like the new songs. I'm like, hello, why are you here? Like, go sit back there with the other casuals. Like, what are you doing? Why are you taking a spot away from someone who like really wanted it?
Oh, true. Very, like, honestly, so true though. Like, it's kind of interesting to be like more on the casual side of fan at a concert. To be like, okay,
yeah,
like obviously I'm super glad we weren't in the 500 level and stuff, but also
oh my god, yeah,
that you can't trust seating charts because the seating chart made it look like we were on an aisle. It was not an aisle, it was a metal fence. Right up.
I mean, it was the end of a row.
Had this little pocket, yes. So
it was the end of a row for sure, but there was no aisle. That is correct.
And can I also say that? Again, because I was not close enough to be like in eye contact with the boy banders, my ADHD kicked in and I got extremely distracted by all of the activity happening behind us. Because it was like, you know, they have like that little like road inside. So there was like
that was very bizarre.
Carts. And then there were these people who I think were the VIPs that got to go to like a special bathroom or something. So they kept going back and forth in like groups with, and I was like, where are these girls going? What's happening now? And then whatever. And then these like random like construction men came like midway through the concert. We're like, are they going to do something? What's happening? And then I was just like, oh, are they? And then more and stuff. And then nothing happened. Like their thing was mostly just at the end when they tear down the concert. But I was like, I like was gearing up for something exciting to happen. I was gearing up for lots of things. No, I'm just like, I need to be focusing on the concert and not on these random people down here that I wish I was.
It was quite the hub of activity.
It was like where we were, it was just like, yeah, this is like the entrance to the floor. And it was, and then at one point, look, they were barricading it and weren't going to let people out. And then people were like yelling at the end and then they just let them all through. And I was like, what was the point of all of this? What is happening? I'm like, there's no good answer. But anyway, so I digress. So anyway, so Diane and I went, how did I get there? Oh, I took the bus. Yes. took the bus to meet up with Dianne, and then we like drove to Toronto. And you know, once you go to, you're going to a boy band concert, you're in Toronto. Where are you going to go for dinner? Well, my friends, we went to. We went to Wahlburgers. So here's
why not
Dianne
pregame your boy band concert?
And let me
with
tell
more
you,
boy
it
bands.
was full of Jonas Brothers fans, like full of it. So many people. So Dianne
It's
got
also very close.
It's like
to the
2
Rogers
blocks
Center.
away from, yeah. So, and there was a parking lot right beside it, which was a big fusion shit show. But anyways, yeah. So, what did you get? You got a poutine tots?
It was a tater tot poutine.
Tater tot poutine. And then I got, I can't remember. It was some sort of like a nacho poutine, or like it had the tater tots and cheese sauce and stuff.
Yeah, it was something you really wanted. I don't remember, but you were
I
like,
got it
get
without bacon or whatever, because you know that's how I roll.
Yeah.
So there you go. But it was pretty good. It was not too fat.
It was not too fat.
Actually, it was not too. I was gonna say it's not too fast. It was not too long of a wait, and then we ended up just eating at the bar. Feel very bad for our poor bartender fellow, because like they ran out of Coke, and then the other servers kept asking for Coke, and he kept saying they ran out. Then they ran out of iced tea, and then he was just getting very irritated with the stupidity around him. And I was just like, oh, this poor guy.
He was not in a good mood.
He was not having a good day, but you know, he powered through and it was great. And I was like, okay. And then again, so we're like eating, and Dianne had finished.
Yeah.
Dianne had finished. So at Wahlburgers, it's literally like they don't want to do dishes. So everything is like paper. So they can just like take it and toss it type thing, you know, yay environment. But anyway, so Dianne had finished her stuff, had a napkin in the thing and had it in front of her. I was eating my burger. I still had the burger in my hand. The lady comes, takes my paper thing away, and then walks away and leaves Diane's. And I was just like, I'm still eating. I don't know. It was hilarious. It was one of those moments you're just like, okay, sure. So anyway, so we were like walking to the show, and then our friend was like, you need to go at the tour because they signed a bunch of them and blah blah blah. And we're like, okay. And then we looked, the line for the merch was like crazy long. Did I take pictures?
I will say this for the Jonas Brothers, the way that they market their stuff is brilliant. Whoever's in charge of marketing and like social media over there, bravo.
So good. And I don't know if you can see this, but here, if you're looking on the left of the screen, if you're listening or not, but they had tote bags and posters for Toronto. So if I am not mistaken, every single date tour, they have personalized merch for that date, which is pretty cool. So like,
I think it's per city. So if they're doing like multiple shows in a city, there won't be a different shirt for each show. But yes, every city is getting their own like tote bag and shirt.
Yeah, so it has like
that's only available at that show. So what an opportunity to A, go to multiple shows, and B, buy multiple items of merch. So like a fucking Pokemon, collect them all. Like
exactly. So true. I was like, that's really smart. And then even just like, so obviously they had your hoodie and sweatpants, which a little pricey, but you know, so $80 for the thing, 75. It's, you know what? It's in line with what everybody else.
Exactly.
Yeah. So like hoodies appeared to be 80, t-shirts were like 50. Yeah, looks like that. And then 50, 55, 60, depending on which one you went with. But the cool thing is that we all got these individual bracelet things free, obviously with the price of admission, as we walked in. Oh, sorry, let me just scooch back here. There's me and Dianne beside our barricade seats, just hanging out, looking a little nutso. It was hot that day. So anyway, so yeah. So we get these and we're like, okay, cool. What's this? And we tried to scan it. It was very hard to scan. But during the concert, why did I just do here? Okay. Okay, so then you could also text the Joe Bros, and I kept almost texting the wrong number because it did not put the thing up there. But that's just to get you on their e-list type thing. Their book is still for pre-sale, which I think is hilarious because the first Jonas Brothers concert we went to, 4 years ago? This book was also for pre-sale, so
it was 2019, so yeah.
One of these days the book will come out. But
they did make a joke about it, like there was a little like pre-video where they were like, yes, we're still working on it. Like, you know, they know that it's been,
it's been taken forever. So this is kind of like the floor area. This was kind of the handicap area, which is really funny because when we were looking at the map, it was not clearly indicated that this was a handicap area. Or
it was
an accessible area. And because normally it has like the little logo and stuff like that. So we're like, why is there just random section in the middle of the floor for no reason? So we actually got tickets in there. So thankfully we did not. Because
I don't think they would have allowed us.
I don't know. It was just like, oh, okay. But we could have literally just hung out in the area. So why is it going backwards? Okay. Am I crazy? Did I not have more pictures in this album? Okay. Yeah, no, it's in the next page. Okay. All right. So then they all light up, and it lit up like different colors. So there was like red and blue and green and all those other colors. And it was cool because most of the time it was always the same color, but for some of the songs, they would have like half of them were red and half were blue and just kind of like it just looked really cool, and it gave you something to look at. So their opening act was a band called Lawrence, who is a brother and sister team. With a bunch of other musicians with them, and they kind of do like funky versions of songs. So that's one of the Diane's
highlights
of my comments, where they're like, "Oh, we're gonna play this like old song from like the 2000s or whatever," and they're, God, I can't remember the song.
It was Get Busy.
Get Busy or whatever. And I was just like, by Shaggy. And Diane's like,
literally, no. So I want to circle back to the bracelets after, but so they were I don't know how to describe their music, but
low and boring. Not my cup of tea.
It was a style in which we are not.
I think it's more of like a new type of music where it's kind of more like hippie, kind of not hippie, like really Eilish-y, I don't know.
Yeah, like kind of funky, but hers is more like techno, like this is real instruments, like guitar and drums and things.
I think there was a saxophone maybe.
Yeah.
It was just like,
and then just like one person is singing or two people are singing. It's not, anyways, not important. So it's a style of music we're not really into or like understanding of. But then they were like, oh, we love like doing these
covers, I guess.
Like funky versions of songs that we grew up with, like from the early 2000s. So, this is like Get Busy. And Cinzia turns to me, she's like, Get Busy? Like, you mean Shaggy? And I was like, no, Sean Paul? Like, what?
I am the worst for remembering who sings what. I am bad. I mix up boy bands all the time. I do, so. But yeah, anyways, Diane was like pissing her pants. So then I was like, okay, you know what? I should probably go to the bathroom now and get some popcorn. Because even though we just ate, those bastards pump in the smell of popcorn into the building, and I'm just like, oh yeah, well, I should get some, even though I know it's going to be terrible because it's not a movie. I've also come to realization with the help of Diane recently that I feel like as much as I love popcorn at the movie theater where I put butter on it. So essentially I just like popcorn to be a vessel for my butter, apparently.
Yes. Because the other day she got popcorn from the movies, but they didn't put the butter properly how she likes it.
I paid extra for it to be layered, the bitch. Anyways,
and then she didn't layer it, and Cinzia was like, this is garbage now. I'm like, so really? You just like butter?
I have to keep up with my physique here, so yes.
Exactly.
Anyway,
she
so
likes butter and ketchup seasoning is what she really likes.
That is my jam. That is my jam. Good stuff.
This bracelet thing, though,
yes,
is extremely cool. And I do think that more, especially boy bands, should like institute this. Like, how much could this possibly fucking cost?
$1 probably for them.
Like almost nothing, I'm sure.
Yeah, especially if you're getting massive quantities, because these were not like individually by thing. It was for the whole tour.
Yeah, so
they're buying thousands and thousands of them.
It's very cool, but this was a K-pop thing. Like all the K-pop groups started doing this.
Oh, okay.
And they would have them like at their shows, and then I know Taylor Swift has them for like her tour.
Makes sense.
And so I'm just like, it's not a new or revolutionary by any means, but like,
so this is when I went to the bathroom.
It's a fun idea that's cool, but like, I could understand why like a band like fucking, I don't know.
O-Town's not be able to do this because...
Okay, O-Town, yes, but they don't have money.
Smaller venues.
And I also don't understand why like, you know, these rappers or like Drake's not going to have these at his concert, or like, I don't know, fucking Metallica, Bruce Springsteen's on tour. He's not going to be handing these out. Like, it's just not in their brand.
Yeah, for sure.
But like, listen,
for like pop
boy band fans aren't like pretending to be cool. Like, we're not going in there like, yeah, we're hard, you know, like whatever. Like, we're there to have a good time, and a light up bracelet is just gonna, you know, put people over the edge.
Joy.
Exactly. So,
and it worked out. So first I thought it only worked while we were there because they're obviously controlling it somehow. But then when we left the venue, it still worked. So I thought it was still going to work now, but I feel like if I change the battery, it'll work again. But you could definitely like click through and find your color, and you could do the strobe thing and all that stuff. So as you can see, this is how shitty my our pictures are. Blurry crap. It was like, this is like whatever. Back in the NSYNC days of like sitting far away. Go. These girls brought giant heads. I thought that was kind of funny.
Oh, and you know what else? That photo was taken during the intermission. Granted, this is a 3-hour show, so I get just Jonas Brothers are 3 hours.
Yes.
So they do have an intermission, but like also again, aging artists who have an aging fan base. Yeah, let's take a break. Let's do that.
And they had a little countdown too to let you know when it was starting up again. I think the countdown didn't start till about the 15-minute mark or the 10-minute mark.
Well, the thing that was confusing is, and I was reading, like I was talking about this with my friend because it's been like kind of a conversation online. I guess Toronto was only like in the like second week of shows for Jonas Brothers. Like we were pretty early on. And they've been fluctuating and playing around with how long that intermission is. I guess it depends when they start and how close they think they're going to get to 11 o'clock because
it's a little behind schedule when they started.
Which PS, they do have an opening act, but that opening act does actually come on right at 7 o'clock. And they are off by about 7:30.
Yeah.
So don't dilly-dally. Like, you definitely want to be there by 8.
Yeah.
There were many people who showed up at 8 o'clock were like running to their seats because it was starting. It was maybe 8:05.
I think so. Maybe 5 minutes late. It wasn't like a huge thing. But
in which case, our intermission was only, because I timed it, it was only 10 minutes long.
Okay.
In other places, it's been 15, and then in other places, it's only been 5 minutes. So I guess it just depends on their schedule.
Also, in other places,
they have
during
special
an intermission, they have special guests. So they had this TikTok people on there for one, because it was Joe's birthday, which was a ridiculous song, which I finally listened to the song and I'm like, oh, this makes sense. But if you go on Jonas Brothers Instagram, they're showing the crowd looking really fucking confused the entire time during this song. They had Jimmy Fallon, I want to say.
Yeah, at one of the New York shows.
At one of the New York shows. They've had a couple of other things. So we're like, oh, it's Toronto. Somebody's going to come. Maybe Biebs will come. Maybe like Drake's on tour, so he can't come. But we're like, somebody's got to come. Nobody came. Nobody. I'm like, this is what happens when you have expectations. Don't have expectations, because then you can't be disappointed. So we're like, all right, whatever. But actually, now I think maybe we'll.
Now, and also to be fair, maybe Jonas Brothers didn't bother inviting anyone because, like, even the week of the show, they were like, "Oh, this is not very well sold. Let's not embarrass ourselves."
Yeah, that's true. Good.
In front of other people, they come out and they're like, "Oh my God, why is half the floor empty?"
Yes, that's valid point. So. So I kind of just want to go through the set list. I think I'm going to do that instead. So if you guys have never been to a thing, setlist.fm is really good. It's like it's apparently they're the setlist wiki. So apparently it's like Wikipedia for set lists. So because the show had started, I want to say like a week and a half before our show, we kind of looked it up, and somebody had actually made like a Spotify playlist. And we're like, I'm going to listen to these songs. And I was like, holy crap, I don't know a lot of Jonas Brothers songs. So that's why I started with a bit of a panic, but I was like, okay. But I feel like we knew at least 2 or 3 of the albums. So.
Oh, and to preface this, if you don't know, the reason that the show was 3 hours and what the whole deal with the tour is
5 albums.
Yes, so they are performing most of their songs, not in their entirety, from all 5 of their albums in one night. Which again is a concept I feel like more people should do, but we'll circle back to that later. So yeah, so it was 5 albums, one night, the world tour. So it starts off with like kind of like instrumental of Wings. Then they go into Celebrate and What a Man Gotta Do, which are from newer albums. So that's good. Then What a Man Gotta Do is just an off, like it's like a one-off, right? It wasn't really on an album.
Was it on an album?
I don't think so.
Celebrate's from the newest one, I believe.
Yes.
I thought What a Man Gotta Do was on that one with Roller Coaster. Am I crazy?
No.
So they just released that separate type thing?
Yeah, it was like a one-off single.
Well, it was a good single, so.
It certainly was.
Except when Josh sings it repeatedly for hours and hours and hours. But yes, I digress. Okay, so then it kind of got broken down by album.
Yes.
So the Jonas Brothers, which I believe was their first album. So they did SOS, Hold On, Good Night and Goodbye. That's Just the Way We Roll. And then they did like a medley of a bunch of their songs to kind of fit it in. Because I was like, how are they going to... When I did the math, they could possibly fit all the albums, and it would probably be about 4 or 5 hours long. So the medley, I guess, is the way to go. So Still in Love with You, Australia, Hollywood, Just Friends, and Games. Then they played Hello Beautiful, Inseparable, Take a Breath together. When You Look Me in the Eyes. And then, quite possibly, my favorite Jonas Brothers
Always
song,
Cinzia's favorite.
Year 3000, from Busted. They still did their version. However, every time I listen to it, I'm just like, hold up. And they also released a remix of this recently. I don't know.
Oh, really?
They did with, I think it was with us. I don't know. There's been a remix out recently. But fucking love this song. But they're getting closer to their 7th. So I know it says 5 albums one night. I think it might actually be at 6 albums. I'm not 100% sure.
Did they release like a greatest hits?
Maybe. And I don't know if those count. I don't know. But anyways, I'm looking forward to their 7th album because we need to see if it outsells Kelly Clarkson.
Yes, everybody bought their 7th album in the year 3000. So
exactly. So we need to know how their 7th album, that 7th album has got to be dynamite. Yeah. But we're not there. Anyways, excellent song. Okay, so then they switched into the album, which is the newer one, which I'm surprised they didn't do more.
This just reminds me of their marketing again. It's like they had the album. This is called The Tour. The merch is like the merch. They have a program. It's the program. Like, I love
Geniuses. Great marketing.
things like this, like consistency and a concept and whatever is something I feel like ever since I've sort of started following the Jonas Brothers a little bit, they're very good at, and I love it.
You know, they're just going to tie everything together in a nice little bow. Beautiful. So Summer Baby, Vacation Eyes, Sail Away. And then after Sail Away, so at the Toronto show, there was like a girl holding up a sign. But unfortunately, from where we were, we couldn't actually see the sign, and it was like moving, and it was like kind of hard to see. But I'm going to share this tab for a second. So what it was right before Little Bird. So they dedicated, this got picked up by like Billboard people. Everybody picked this up. So Jonas Brothers dedicate Little Bird to Valentina, a fan's late child in Toronto. Joe Jonas got choked up when he saw the sign in the crowd that read, "Dedicate Little Bird for my angel in heaven." So there was this lady, and her name was Magda, I believe. Oh, yes. Okay, I'll just read this because I'm pretty sure it summarizes it right here. So Little Bird was performed in honor of Valentina, one fan's angel in heaven, at the Jonas Brothers concert in Toronto on Saturday night, August 19th. The song is featured on the Jonas Brothers' latest album, The Album, which reached number 3 on Billboard charts in May. Joe Jonas noticed a sign that said, "Dedicate Little Bird to my angel in heaven," at the group's Rogers Center show. He brought the emotional mother holding the sign towards the stage to speak with her. "I got choked up when I read the sign," he told the fan, who said her name was Magda. And by the way, she said she was from Mexico, I believe.
Yes.
So she flew from Mexico to Toronto to come to this show. Ended up getting floor seats. So like, good for, so these are the type of people who deserve to be on the floor, not
yes, not schmucks like us.
Just kind of like waltz on down the street. But yes. So he said, "What's the name of your little bird's name?" And she said, "Valentina." So Joe gave her a big hug. "This one's for Valentina. She's here with us tonight for sure." So Kevin, Joe, and Nick are all parents, and hearing Magda talk about her little bird Valentina particularly affected Kevin, who has a daughter named Valentina. In May, he shared a sweet video of his own Valentina, saying that Little Bird is her favorite song because it's about us. So yeah, so it was a very emotional moment. People were like crying, like, you know, it was just like you had to kind of be there type thing. So obviously condolences to Magda, but I feel like that's a really good moment that she's probably not going to forget. So
yeah, for sure.
Good way to honor her.
They do dedicate that song to someone every night, I think. But
do they? I didn't.
Yeah. It's just, I've seen them dedicate it to other people. I don't know. It's not like every night someone there has a dead child, but
okay, fair enough.
But if for other people for different reasons, like I think they look for like a parent and kid, kind of thing, and then like, oh, this song's for you, kind of thing.
Okay, all right, interesting.
It's a very sad song.
Yes. Very slow, sad song. So yes,
and it's not really meant to be sad. Maybe sad's the wrong word. It's very emotional.
Yeah, that's different.
But yeah, it's a very emotional song. So I feel like a lot of people really like it.
Yes. Sorry, I was just quickly looking at the lyrics here. "You came into the world, my baby girl, beautiful angel. Oh, I could cry. You got your mother's kind eyes. Trying to stop time. I could never ask for more." So it's like about, so it's definitely about
the song is about
wrapped around my finger.
I was going to say, I'm sure like you guys reviewed it. Like the song is about
down the aisle. Yes.
How one day they all have daughters. None of them have sons. So it's all about like how one day they're going to have to give their little bird away. You know, how she's going to fly away from their nest and whatever, but now you're just a little baby and like whatever. It's very emotional.
It is very emotional. I feel it's definitely more emotional if you have children, which we do not.
I was going to say, maybe not as much for us. But
yes. Well, it could be emotional that we're never having kids, and then, you know, we won't have these sad emotions. I don't know.
I suppose, but I feel like if you have kids, you would find it to be very sad.
Yes, for sure. Definitely. So sad song dedicated. So that kind of just brought the vibe down a little bit there, but that was obviously you go through a lot of emotions here at the.
And as you said, it was a really special moment for that woman.
Yeah,
so,
no, and it was, so for sure. So, yes. Okay, so then from that, then we moved into the next album, which was a little bit longer, which I don't know what album that is, because apparently I'm a terrible
I
person.
feel like, just from my limited knowledge, the first album, which was what, just Jonas Brothers? Yeah. They weren't really that famous yet. Like, they put together that album and they were trying to be a band, but it might have been when they were like just getting picked up by Disney kind of thing, but like hadn't fully yet. This one, a little bit longer, came out after like the TV show and everything like blew up. So this was their first, like, this is where most people like got to know them.
All right. So, okay. Okay. So I'm at their discography right now. It claims they have 6 studio albums, 3 live albums, 1 compilation, blah, blah, blah. So It's About Time was released with Columbia Records in 2006. But then when they got picked up Hollywood Records, that was the Jonas Brothers. So this is kind of their first the international debut album, but it's their second studio album. Then it's a little bit
like
longer.
The Backstreet Boys and the Red album versus like Backstreet's Back, and there's 2 versions of Backstreet's Back because there's the US version and the international version.
Yes. So then it's a little bit longer. Then it's Lines, Vines, and Trying Times. And that came in 2009. Then they had the 10-year break. Then we have Happiness Begins, and then the album. So I digress. Okay, back to this. So a little bit longer was the next song, and then Can't Have You, Sorry. And then they had another medley of mid songs, which was BB Good, Shelf, Got Me Going Crazy, Video Girl, One Man Show, Pushing Me Away, and Tonight. So the girls around us knew many of these songs and were like jamming.
Cinzia and I were like, yeah.
I've heard that. I don't know what's happening. So yes. But then one of Dianne, then we had followed with Love Bug, which obviously we all know that song.
Except for every time when I start singing it, is it that one or is it When You Look Me in the Eyes? Cinzia is always like, how do you know this song? I don't know this song. What is this? And then once it gets to the chorus, she's like, oh, no, wait, I do know this.
Love Bug, I feel like, is one of that, but probably the other one too. So, and then so Love Bug, then Burning Up, which I was like, oh, like the Nick song, but it's nothing like the Nick song.
Every time she also is like, I keep expecting to hear Nick's version of that song. Nick Carter, not Jonas.
Nick Carter, sorry. Yes, I forgot. There's multiple Nicks in the boy fandom. But yes, but they also, I really enjoy when they perform Burning Up because then they have all those fucking flames on the stage and like.
Yes, it's fun.
It's like burning up for you, baby.
It's one of their better songs, in my opinion.
So, yes. So, and when we sat at our first Jonas Brothers concert, we were literally behind the stage. Those flames are very close and very warm. So,
I feel like I could feel them a little bit this time, though. They're very hot.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was just like, Jesus, if you're on stage, you'd be like, I'm singed. What's happening? Yeah. So they did that. So then after that, then they took their intermission. So this is like 20 songs in. So then we're just kind of like, okay, we don't know how long it is. And then when it was 5 minutes left, then the timer came on because I was like, and at this point we were thinking of moving up because there was empty rows in front of us, but they were lower. We're like, should we move up? But then we have to literally walk over all these people. And then the annoying girls beside us decided that they would move at that point. So I think they moved up. I don't think they left.
I think so, yeah.
Some strange conversations that we will not get into, but I was just like, man, is this the lives that people live? Like, how sheltered are we? Like,
no, I just think the people beside us were very odd.
Yeah, they're just like casually talking.
That's fine. We only had to deal with them for half the show. Then they disappeared, and then we had even more space.
And then we had more space to like move. So we're like, all right, we're good now. We're good. That's anyways, yes. So so that intermission when we were like, is somebody gonna come out? Is somebody gonna come out? And nobody came out. But Did they not? Oh, okay, that's later on. Okay, so they came out with the album, which is obviously the new song, a new album, and Waffle House, which again,
Very
great
good
marketing
song.
for Waffle House. Great song, good times. Then they did Montana Sky, which is that song gets caught in my head all the time randomly. Like, I don't know why, because there's nothing really, I feel like anytime we'll talk about Montana or Georgia, I'm like, Montana Sky, Georgia. I'm like, why is this in my head? It's in my head.
It's a good song.
It's a good song. Miracle is good. And so then next we're moving on to Lines, Vines, and Trying Times. So Fly With Me. And then they had another medley. So it was Hey Baby, Poison Ivy, Don't Speak, Much Better, World War III, What Did I Do to Your Heart, and Paranoid. I did like Paranoid. I thought that was fun. So then, again, more songs I did not know. Then they did Turn Right, Before the Storm, Gotta Find You, which is a Joe Jonas song, and this was the special song for Toronto. So if I'm not mistaken, this is the one from Camp Rock?
Yes. So throughout the show, they kept talking about how like Toronto was special to them because they filmed Camp Rock, like not in Toronto, but like in the GT in Southern Ontario. And they also, I guess at that time, as we were saying, were recording the album with the one before this, the name of which I've already forgotten.
Vines, or the
No.
Album? Nope. The oh shit, what was it called? Happiness.
You just keep scrolling past it a little bit longer.
A little bit longer.
So they were recording for a little bit longer while they were filming Camp Rock.
Oh, that's right. Yes, they said they did a lot of recording in Toronto.
And so they had filmed, like they had recorded, like for example, "Burnin' Up," which was like at around that time to be like their biggest song ever in Toronto. And so yes, they did say that in honor of Toronto and like because they filmed Camp Rock here or whatever, they sang this song or they performed this song from Camp Rock. Never watched Camp Rock.
No.
Everyone, especially on the floor, and like the diehards around us were losing their minds.
Losing it.
And I was like,
I'm just gonna pretend to mouth the words that I don't know. Like, I know. I feel like I should just watch Camp Rock and Camp Rock 2.
I feel like Camp Rock is something Cinzia would like.
I know. I just don't know why I have not watched it yet. Like,
and there's two of them, right? Or three?
Yeah, there's two for sure. I think there's only two.
I don't know, but I was just like, oh, I guess if I watched Camp Rock, I would care.
But like the pandemonium of the excitement from this song, and everyone's like screaming the lyrics and woo, like losing. I'm like,
oh, can I also just say, backing up slightly to after the intermission. So they only do one quote unquote costume change. So they're wearing they're wearing whatever outfit they're wearing for the first half, and then they wear a secondary outfit for the second half.
Yeah, I just, can I just say, first of all, before you get into the good outfit, that my buddy Joe over there was wearing an outfit, I don't know if it was velour, I don't know what it was, but it was a suit that very much reminded me of either a couch or Lady Gaga's meat dress, because I don't even know if you can see. It was just such an ugly ass suit. I'm trying to see if I was able to get a picture of it, but not. But yes, they were definitely more formal.
In the first half, yes. More formal in the first half.
Hold on, let me just try to share this for a second.
More casual in the second half.
It's not as ugly now that I'm looking at it, but in person it literally looked like meat. So I feel like it might have been flowers. It's like, what the hell is Joe wearing? What is this?
It does, especially at the red parts. I can see how it looks like a well-marbled cut of beef. And
I was just like, oh, Wagyu, Joe. Like, I don't know what you're like. And then Nick had like a yellow jacket, I think. And then Kevin was just wearing a full-on red suit. So, love them. And you know what? They're much younger than us, so maybe this is the style. But I'm like...
They're much more younger than you.
Yeah, well... But anyways, second half.
Second half is more casual.
We had more cash. I don't know what Kevin was. The videographer apparently hated Kevin because I kept trying to get a picture of Kevin and I could not. But and I do think that Nick's hat's a bit high, but that didn't matter because did I get a good picture? I don't know. Nick changes into leather pants.
Listen, I personally do not frequently or
Thirst
at all really look at the Jonas Brothers and go, this is in the parking lot. This
Okay, so
Anyway.
sorry, I'm just gonna skip ahead to this picture for a second. So this is the parking lot we were at. These two realtors. Shout out to Sasha Sidhu and Love Deep Girl. Hey, we just met you and this is crazy, but we sell houses, so call us maybe. Like cute, but also like 10 years past the time of the kind of
shout out to them.
So, Sasha and Love Deep, you know, if I ever have millions of dollars, I'll find you in Toronto. But anyways, I digress.
Anyways, good marketing. Speaking of marketing,
Good marketing, because I took a picture and there it is. So I did not get a picture of his butt, so I feel like that.
Anyways, I don't frequently or at all really look at the Jonas Brothers and go, oh, my God. Like, I'm just like, oh, they're cute. Like, I can see that they're attractive, but I personally am not like, ooh la la. Like,
she's not blanking like when she sees Nick the first time.
Yes. They're all kind of they're fine, but like and there's nothing about them that makes me like, as our lovely Mama Lou would say, there's no tingle in the vingle.
Her clothes are not flying off. There's no tingle in the vingle. Yes.
So, but let me tell you, when Nick Jonas came out in this little ensemble with the tight leather pants and then the cutoff t-shirt and the backwards hat, I turned to Cinzia and I was like, bravo. Like, I don't know. Like, wow. Can we maybe go to their Instagram and find good quality photos of this? Because I feel like you really need to see it to appreciate it.
And I feel like
I was just like, oh, okay. Well done, sir. I get it now. Prior to this, I feel like maybe the show before or two shows before or whatever, the story that had gotten picked up was that Nick Jonas had fallen. So he was walking backwards on the stage and then he fell into this hole on the stage, right? And so this was everybody was like, oh, blah, 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 whatever, and there was a bunch of people hope he's okay, la, la, la. And then there was so many comments of people being like, I wish Nick Jonas would fall into my hole. Oh, I got a hole you can fall into, Nick, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, this is aggressive.
Is this on their official one? I don't remember who.
Yes, but you keep passing it.
Okay.
Where are you? I saw it.
Tour.
This is yes.
Him falling in the hole was on here?
Oh, I don't think falling on the hole is on there.
No, but this was the Toronto show, but they don't have maybe this one. Okay, let's see.
No, it's yes, it's that one. Anyways.
Yes.
Well done. Anyways. I was just like, and so anyways, all these comments about, oh, Nick can fall in my hole, whatever.
And Diane's like, these people are so thirsty and disgusting.
This is men, women,
more men, I would feel, but yes.
And I was just like, wow, these people are aggressively thirsty. And then when this happened, I turned to Cinzia. I was like, I get the whole comments. I get it.
Yes, she's like, I understand now. I get it. It was really funny. And we're like, okay, so anyways.
And it wasn't just me, because again, I clearly have spent a lot of time this summer on TikTok. And there was like people on TikTok that were talking about, like, there was many TikToks about people being like, oh my God, he looked like so attractive. And there was these one girls, I guess they do a podcast. I don't know if it's specifically, I don't think it's specifically about boy bands, but they were at this Toronto show. And they were just like, when he came out after the intermission, they were like, it was not just us. Like, they were like, there was a couple in front of us, like, you know, a girlfriend and a boyfriend. And there was like people behind us, like gay guys. Like, there was like a good mix of like young, old men, women in our section. And they were like, when he came out after the intermission, we all audibly gasped. We were all like, she was like, even the straight guys were like,
Amazing.
and I was just like, so, okay, so I'm glad everyone was on the same page.
Yes. This was not just a you thing. I was like, some good, yeah. Bravo, stylists or whoever.
Well done, Nick.
Well done.
Bravo.
Godspeed. Yeah, so oh shit. Okay. What were we doing? Oh yes, we were talking about the set.
Sorry, yes. I got us very distracted
by that wonderful
and off track. But I feel like I wasn't really focused for any of those first three songs because I was just like, oh, just
like zoned out at like, damn. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like Lydia would have been losing her friggin' mind there. She would. Yes. Anyways, okay, where were we? Okay, gotta find you. Okay, so we were there. So they did the special song for Toronto. So, all right, we didn't get a special guest, but we got a special song. That's fine. Then they Black Keys. Okay. Then they did their side project songs. So obviously Nick did Jealous, which was excellent. Mm-hmm. And then they did Cake by the Ocean, and that was a sad moment for us because we realized that wacky inflatable arm man is no longer there. That was like Diane's favorite part of the show. That
was my favorite part of the Happiness Begins tour. Oh, they were just so great.
Such joy. There was all these colorful inflatable,
and they'd go down. They weren't up all the time, but then every once in a while it would be like Rocky inflatable arm guys, and I'd be like, oh, this is so great.
It was great. So sadly, that was not there. Our things lit up in fun colors and stuff, but you know.
And I feel like, was that when they had the rainbow of confetti, that it was like literally like all the different colors?
Yes, you're right. So cool. They did confetti, and then they had like the leaf blowers like blowing it. It was cool. Yes, it looked very cool and fun. So that was fun. And then they did Walls. I can't remember that one.
Again, I think it's a one-off single.
Yeah. So then, so now we get to the Happiness Begins section.
This is when we joined the fandom.
And this is when we joined. We're like, oh, yes, let's get into the Jonas Brothers. We know all these songs. So, yeah, so they did a medley of Comeback, Roller Coasters, Strangers, and Used to Be. Then they did Cool, Trust. Then they did another medley, which was Every Single Time, Happy When I'm Sad, Don't Throw It Away. Don't throw it away. Love Her. Hesitate, I Believe, and they dedicated this to a fan and her new husband.
Yeah, there was a girl holding a sign that said, help me pick my wedding song.
Oh, yes, she wanted help for a wedding song. So they're like,
but
okay,
then they already sang the two songs that she was like considering.
They're like,
so they were like, well, we're going to dedicate this song to you.
You should do instead. This song, I believe. So it's not a bad song. So she was like, oh, okay. Then they did Only Human. And then Sucker, and then Leave Before You Love Me, which is Marshmello and Jonas Brothers. And then Outro. I don't remember this, but I guess
they're just playing those songs while they're doing, while they're like taking their final vows and whatever. So,
Who's in Your Head and Remember This. So all in all, great show, 3 hours long. We were like, oh God, are we going to survive? We did. So.
And honestly, it didn't feel like 3 hours, no. I don't think. And this is from people who didn't know all the songs. Like, I feel like if I was a diehard and I knew all the songs, it would have felt even faster.
Oh, for sure.
But, like, from a person who wasn't even, like I said, a huge fan, didn't know all the songs, it did not feel like 3 hours.
No. So, no, it was good. It was they do a good show. They're good showmen. Yes, so the tour is still happening, I believe, until end of October, I want to say.
And then they extended it. They added more dates in like November.
Oh, they did. And hold on. So the current tour, let me share the screen. So go to jonasbrothers.com. So right now, the North American version is going all the way until December 9th. And then in 2024, that's when they hit up New Zealand, Australia, Norway, Denmark, France.
And as you can see, so Toronto was the 6th show.
Yeah.
But only really the 4th city.
Yeah. We had New York, Boston, Connecticut, and then us. So there's still quite a few shows.
But
so
if you want to go, there's opportunities. They're coming back to our area. Like there's Buffalo, Ottawa, Montreal.
Yes, so, at the end of November. Yep. November, beginning of December.
More opportunities to go see them.
And like Vancouver, Edmonton, Winnipeg. So they are hitting up quite a few. So I think that's really awesome that they're really like going to town and doing it and everything. So that's awesome. And then, so Europe is end of February, March, May, June. So the Jonas Brothers have a very busy time ahead of them. Fun fact, our buddy there, Joe Jonas, has released some sort of...
Where are you seeing, February?
February 27th.
Oh, that's a one-off. It's like March. That's Australia.
Yeah, this is
Australia. And then it goes May and June.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's Europe. So they do like Australia, New Zealand.
Okay, sorry. I got confused for a second there.
They end in Belfast, June 20th. So yes. So that's like a year of touring. That's a lot of stuff going on. I'm happy for them because I'm happy for their fans because I feel like, at some point in time you feel like, oh, hope is lost. A band has broken up. Things are never going to happen. And then they put on a 5-album world tour and play 3 hours every night.
And
so that's crazy.
Listen, this is not what this episode is about. But if Cinzia listens to me, there will be an episode about this. If another certain band who may or may not be doing something decides to tour,
Cinzia is going to lose her mind.
Cinzia is going to lose her shit. But they should absolutely do this.
Yeah,
because I assume most people listening to this will know which band I'm talking about. And they really only have 3 albums because you're not going to perform a Christmas album. So I would say to anyone named Justin, Joshua, Lance, Joseph, or Christopher who are listening, that if you happen to be considering doing a tour, we want all 3 albums and we want every song from all the albums. Please and thank you. Jonas Brothers did 5. I understand that they're like 20 years younger than you.
They are younger, but I feel like our guys could do it.
They did 5 albums. You only have to do 3. You could do a little bit of medleys. You can do this.
You can do this. I got faith in you.
Okay? So I'm just saying. Just putting that out there in the universe.
Putting that out there.
This is what we want.
This is what we want. I don't care about
all the albums, all the songs. Please and thank you.
And then if you want an intermission, so what's his name? Little solo crap.
If you need an intermission so that you can, rest your back and have oxygen masks, we'll be okay with that.
Amazing. But anyways, so good for Jonas Brothers. Joe has an alcohol line. He actually randomly stopped in a Walmart in Texas and fans camped out overnight and we all thought it was fake, but it was not, including one of the employees of the store. She's like, I work here. This is obviously fake. And then she's like, never mind. I talked to my manager. He's actually coming. So a bunch of people got to meet Joe at Walmart. And I think it's like some sort of sparkling sangria. I don't know. It's in a can. I don't know.
It's a good time to be a Jonas Brothers fan.
It's a good time to be a Joe Bro fan. So, Joe Ho it up, man. Let's do this.
Joe Ho it up.
Anyway, so if you haven't gone, you got tons of time to go see one of their shows. They put on a great show, and hopefully there's still lots of tickets. Well, not. Hopefully you'll be able to get tickets and stuff. So, yes, okay. Well, thank you so much, Dianne, for coming.
No problem.
Participating in today's episode. And then I literally forget how this thing ends. So, thanks for taking a break with us. Until next time, thanks for listening. Bye.